Lindy was in this room and conversing with the other Eastern Star women. I was then taken into a gold-gilded hallway with red carpet, chandeliers, mirrors. In this hallway, I only witnessed one old-looking woman who was dressed in a long black dress with long sleeves, lots of jewelry, tons of makeup, and short black hair. She kind of looks like Shirley MacLaine. All of the other people there were men, and they were dressed in tuxedos, Freemason regalia such as medals, aprons, their necklaces. We took a left turn into another hallway and then a right turn into a long dining room that was crowded with these men, and men only. There was a gilded two-headed bird on the wall at the end of the table with gold raised behind it, and this room had blue carpet with gold stars and one large light fixture in the center of the room. When I was brought into the room, the faces of the men lit up with excitement, and I was brought to the end of the table and placed on an altar which had a large book, probably the Bible, on it. And this book was removed when I was placed on the altar. There was a cameraman there with a very large black camera resting on his right shoulder. I was stripped naked out of my pajamas in this room in front of at least 100 men as they jeered and whistled at me. They proceeded to hold me face down on my stomach and inserted a foreign object far into my grandfather did not want to make eye contact with me when it was his turn. There were about 20 men left in line when they had to stop because I was bleeding. When the sexual abuse was over and the room seemed to have kind of cleared out, a smaller group of men, around 10 people, came into this dining room dressed in long hooded robes. They were kind of dark brown in color. One of them brought a little boy who appeared to be around my age into the room on a rolling cart or altar. This little boy was strapped to the cart he was on, and one man in a hooded robe began to cut the boy open in the chest and proceeded to torture him. There was a man standing a little ways behind him, wearing what appeared to be a cow skull or goat skull. At this time, I was placed inside of an animal carcass, but I could still see things going on in the room. As this little boy was being cut open alive, the man doing this was also bending over him and appeared to be eating the boy. Mist appeared in the center of the room, at the same distance that this little boy's body was from me, and I'm still at the head of the table on the altar. The men were chanting, and I remember them saying Lucifer. The black mist in the center of the room grew larger, and this demon was summoned. I saw its red eyes, and it was speaking in another language. Its voice sounded like thunder. The room filled with the black darkness, and then I was taken into another room. This room was a surgical-looking room, and a male with brown hair and glasses cleaned me up. He was wearing a mask and surgical robes. He sat me in a chair, strapped my arms down, and then proceeded to make a small incision in the middle of my left forearm. He took out a large syringe, and inside was a clear capsule that contained a small circular part that connected to a small rectangular chip with a wire. He put a Band-Aid on my arm, and then I was taken into another room. This next room had a baby chained to the wall with extremely bruised and mangled legs. Another baby was brought out on a cart, and this baby was white and wearing a diaper. They ordered me